Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're taking a completely different approach to a process that most of us honestly dread. We're going to stop treating used car buying like some simple, everyday retail transaction. Instead, we need to treat it exactly like what it should be, a high-stakes forensic investigation. Buying a used vehicle can absolutely be one of the smartest financial decisions you'll ever make, but only if you go in prepared with the exact right mindset.
So I really want you to ask yourself, are you truly prepared to spot those costly hidden secrets? The kinds of nightmares that a quick casual walk around will just never ever reveal? Because the reality is, a fresh, shiny coat of wax can easily mask underlying issues that'll literally bankrupt you with repair bills down the road. We really need to look past that polished exterior and uncover the real story of the vehicle.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our roadmap. We'll start with preparation and the toolkit, then move to inspecting the exterior, investigating under the hood, checking out the interior and undercarriage, taking that crucial test drive, and finally, verification and closing.
Step 1. Preparation and the toolkit. Gaining the intel and equipment.
This is the crucial pre-purchase homework that's going to save you literally hours of looking at the wrong vehicles. Before you even set eyes on a car, you've got to define the total cost of ownership. That means factoring in insurance, taxes, and a solid maintenance reserve, not just looking at the sticker price. And hey, separate your absolute needs from your wants. A pickup truck might look awesome, but it's kind of terrible as a daily commuter if you're only hauling dirt once a year, right? Then, narrow your search to reliable models, find the fair market value using multiple sources, and absolutely pull that vehicle history report using the VIN. You're hunting for instant deal breakers here: salvage brands, flood history, odometer rollbacks. Doing this sets the perfect foundation for a smart buy.
Now, you don't need some massive, expensive toolbox, but you do need a few essentials. A bright flashlight is invaluable, and a simple notepad really helps keep you grounded when the excitement kicks in. But the absolute secret weapon here? It's an OBD2 code reader. Seriously, even a basic $30 wireless scanner paired with your smartphone can reveal if a seller recently wiped the vehicle's diagnostic trouble codes just to hide a check engine light from you. It's basically an instant lie detector test for the car's computer.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how we can use everyday pocket change for highly accurate safety checks. Tires tell a story. If you insert a penny and see the top of Lincoln's head, that tread is dangerously worn below 2/32 of an inch. But the better standard is the quarter test. If Washington's head is partially covered, you're at a much safer 4/32 threshold. Anything less than that? Well, you're looking at an imminent expensive tire replacement, and you definitely need to factor that into your offer.
Moving on to Step 2. Inspecting the exterior. Uncovering body, frame, and paint secrets.
We're heading out to the driveway now. Remember, you absolutely need daylight and a dry car to spot wavy reflections. Water is really sneaky. It easily hides scratches and mismatched paint. Here's a brilliant, simple trick to detect hidden structural damage. Take a standard fridge magnet, wrap it in a soft cloth so you don't scratch the paint, and just run it along the lower body panels and wheel arches. If that magnet suddenly refuses to stick, boom, you've just found a thick layer of body filler, often called Bondo, which is a dead giveaway of a previous accident repair. And while you're doing this, check the panel gaps around the doors and hood. Modern cars have very consistent 3 to 5 millimeter gaps. Uneven gaps, they basically scream structural damage.
Step 3. Investigating under the hood. Sniffing out the truth.
A quick warning for you. A pristine, shiny engine bay might just be a fresh wipe down meant to hide chronic leaks. You really need to lean heavily into your senses here. Pull the dipsticks and uncap the reservoirs. Safely, of course. If the engine oil looks like a frothy, tan milkshake, you've got coolant mixing with the oil. That almost certainly means a blown head gasket, which is a massive headache. If you smell a sweet, syrupy odor, you've got an active coolant leak. And if the transmission fluid is brown and smells acrid and burnt, that means the fluid has been severely neglected or the transmission has been overheating. These are absolute red flags, folks.
And this brings us to a rule you just cannot compromise on, the cold start rule. You must insist the engine is completely cold when you arrive. A warm engine is a seller's best friend because heat expands metal and smooths out idle issues. It effectively hides metallic rattles, timing chain tensioner failures, and rough starting problems. If you touch the hood and it's warm, be very, very suspicious.
Step 4. Interior and undercarriage. The electronics gauntlet and the crawl.
Now we're shifting focus to the driver's seat. You need to act like a detective interrogating a suspect, testing every single button. Start by taking a really deep breath. Heavy air fresheners are often used to cover up musty odors from water leaks. Check the wear on the driver's seat's left bolster. If it's completely shredded but the odometer claims 40,000 miles, yeah, the math isn't mathing. Roll down every window, blast the heat, and crank the AC. Most importantly, turn the key to the on position without starting the engine and watch the instrument cluster. The airbag and check engine lights must illuminate and then turn off once the car starts. A missing or taped-over airbag light is a severe safety hazard and a massively deceptive trap.
While you're in there, grab your flashlight and look way up under the dashboard. If you see dried mud, fine silt, or rust on unpainted metal brackets, you're likely looking at a flood-damaged vehicle. Let me state this firmly. A flood car is a perpetual nightmare of rotten wires and electrical gremlins. If you see these signs, just abandon the purchase immediately. No second thoughts.
Next, we crawl. Even if you don't have a fancy hydraulic lift, sliding a tarp underneath the car with your flashlight can reveal a massive amount of information. Look for wavy metal or fresh, localized undercoating. That's a classic trick used to hide structural welds. Look for black soot on the exhaust, which indicates leaks. Check the ground for drips of any fluid, and absolutely inspect the rubber boots on the CV joints. A torn rubber boot lets dirt in and grease out, which means imminent, expensive suspension failure.
Step 5. The crucial test drive, where the truth lives.
Listen, the test drive is absolutely non-negotiable. You need a solid 20 to 30 minutes on varied roads, and keep that radio completely off. Let's look at how this builds into the perfect test drive sequence. It starts with that cold start we talked about. Listen closely for power steering whine. As you pull out, test the acceleration. You want a strong pull and smooth shifting without any hesitation. Once you're on a safe road, test the brakes firmly. The car should stop completely straight, and if you feel a pulsation in the pedal, you're dealing with warped rotors. Finally, the post-drive check. After running it, turn the engine off and immediately restart it. A poor hot restart can catch a failing fuel pump or a starter that only acts up when the engine is baking hot.
Step 6. Verification and closing. Paperwork and the final decision.
You've done the physical work, now comes the administrative detective work. Never hand over a single dollar until the paperwork is forensically verified. The seller's ID must exactly match the name on the title. If it doesn't, that's called title jumping. It's illegal in most states, and it'll trap you in a bureaucratic nightmare. Ensure the title is totally clean of salvage or rebuilt brands. And critically, verify that the VIN on the title perfectly matches the VIN on the dashboard and the door jamb sticker. Mismatch VINs? That could mean you're looking at stolen property. Finally, review the service records and make sure the bill of sale is comprehensive and signed.
So, the crucial point is this: the PPI ultimatum. Even after all your brilliant sleuthing, spending $100 to $200 for an independent, professional pre-purchase inspection by a mechanic is strictly non-negotiable. An independent mechanic with a lift can spot internal engine issues, block test the coolant, and find structural frame issues you simply can't see from the ground. If the seller refuses to let you get a PPI, you walk away. Period. End of story.
When it finally comes down to closing the deal, remember this quote: "Emotion is your enemy." You have to prioritize safety and mechanical integrity way over cosmetic perfection. Be polite, but be firm. Use the concrete evidence you've gathered, like those worn tires or the pending maintenance we discovered earlier, to negotiate the price down fairly. You're no longer just a buyer. You are an informed investigator armed with actual facts.
Which brings us to our final thought. Are you ready to trust your senses? The single most powerful tool you have in any negotiation is your absolute willingness to leave. Methodical attention to detail turns you into a confident buyer who just isn't afraid to walk away from a bad deal. The right car is definitely out there, and now you have the exact blueprint to find it and verify it.
Apply these techniques, be patient, and always trust the evidence over the sales pitch. For more, visit our website, Fair Solution.